Declare your intent, how to write the script for your future. The world is not a place that rewards the passive. It is a forge. It is a relentless, unyielding furnace that either consumes you or tempers you into steel. You have spent too many years reading the script that others wrote for you, the expectations of your family, the limitations projected onto you by your peers, the lukewarm mediocrity dictated by a society that fears those who dare to stand tall. But tonight, that ends. You are not here by accident. You are here because the internal friction of your life has reached a breaking point. You have realized that if you do not define your existence, it will be defined for you by the forces of circumstance. Look at the giants of history. When Thomas Edison sat in the darkness of his laboratory, surrounded by thousands of failed experiments, he did not see defeat. He saw a clearing of the path. He had declared an intent that the world told him was impossible, to harness the light. He didn't just want to invent. He wanted to alter the trajectory of human civilization. That is the difference between a person who merely exists and a person who commands their reality. Napoleon Hill once wrote that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But he left out the bridge that most people refuse to cross, the bridge of absolute, unshakable, and terrifyingly clear intent. Most people walk through life as if they are watching a movie they didn't choose, waiting for something interesting to happen on the screen. They hope for a promotion, they hope for love, they hope for a miracle, they hope for luck. Hope is not a strategy. Hope is the narcotic of the stagnant. If you want to change the script of your future, you must stop hoping and start declaring. A declaration is not a wish whispered into the wind. It is a contract signed in the blood of your own commitment. It is the moment you draw a line in the sand and look at the universe and say, I am not moving until this vision is manifest. Think of Henry Ford. He was a man with a singular, driving obsession. He did not ask if people wanted a cheaper car. He decided that he would provide one. He didn't look at the limitations of the horse and buggy era. He saw a future built on the back of combustion and steel. He wrote his own script while the rest of the world was still reading the prologue of the previous century. He encountered ridicule, financial ruin, and the skepticism of experts. But he had a secret weapon that you possess right now, if you are brave enough to use it, a definite chief aim. Your life is a canvas, and you have been holding the brush with a trembling hand, waiting for someone else to tell you which color to paint with. You are terrified of making a mistake, of painting outside the lines, of being judged for the masterpiece you are capable of creating. But the greatest tragedy is not failing. The greatest tragedy is to reach the end of your life and realize that you never actually started. You never truly owned the narrative. You were a side character in your own autobiography. To declare your intent is to accept that you are the architect of your own misfortune and your own triumph. It is a heavy burden, perhaps, but it is the only path to true freedom. When you take radical responsibility for your thoughts, you change the chemical composition of your reality. Your brain is a filtering mechanism. It is designed to find what you are looking for. If you are looking for reasons why you can't, your brain will produce them in abundance. If you are looking for ways to dominate, your brain will show you doors where you once saw walls. This isn't about positive thinking in the sense of ignoring your problems. It is about the surgical removal of doubt. Doubt is the anchor that prevents the ship of your purpose from ever leaving the harbor. It is the whisper that says, what if they laugh? Or what if I fail? Those voices are the ghosts of your past. The echoes of every person who tried to keep you small so they wouldn't have to face their own reflection. You must learn to listen to those voices, and then, with absolute cold-blooded discipline, ignore them. The subconscious mind does not argue. It acts on the instructions it is given. If you tell it that you are a failure, it will arrange the world to prove you right. If you tell it that you are a force of nature, it will align every resource, every connection, and every intuition toward that end. This is not mysticism. This is the law of the mind. You become what you contemplate. You become the embodiment of your most dominant thoughts. Look at your life right now. Look at your bank account, your relationships, your physical vitality. They are not random occurrences. They are the physical manifestations of your internal declarations. You have been declaring your intent every single day, whether you knew it or not, through your habits, your fears, and your compromises. If you don't like the harvest, you have to look at the seeds you've been planting. It is time to rewrite the code. You must sit down with yourself and define exactly what you want. Not what you think is realistic, not what your parents would approve of, but what sets your soul on fire. You must be specific. Ambiguity is the enemy of achievement. "I want to be successful" is a hollow phrase. "I want to build a platform that serves 1 million people by the end of next year" is a declaration of war against mediocrity. When you are that specific, your mind knows exactly what to hunt for. You need a vision so clear that you can feel the texture of it. When you close your eyes, you should see the result as if it has already occurred. You should feel the weight of the achievement, the smell of the room where you work, the sound of the world shifting in response to your presence. This is not daydreaming. This is the rehearsal of the future. You are building the neural pathways required to sustain your success before you even arrive at the destination. But be warned, the moment you declare your intent, the universe will test you. It will throw obstacles in your path to see how badly you want it. It will present you with setbacks that look like roadblocks but are actually invitations to grow. When these moments come, you must remain immovable. You must be like Andrew Carnegie, who built an empire on the back of the belief that he could organize the greatest minds in his industry. He didn't have the capital, he didn't have the connections, but he had the intent. And because he refused to yield, the world eventually had to yield to him. Discipline is the fuel that keeps the engine of your intent running. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the forest fire. You will not always feel like working. You will not always feel like studying. You will not always feel like pushing through the pain of growth. If you wait until you feel like it, you will wait forever. You must divorce your actions from your emotions. Your feelings are fickle, but your intent is eternal. Build a ritual that demands your absolute best, even on the days when you are at your worst. The world is filled with people who have big dreams and small actions. They are the dreamers of the day, but they never wake up to seize their reality. Do not be one of them. Take action, even if it is imperfect. A fast failure is better than a slow stagnation. Learn from the motion, adjust your course, and keep moving. The momentum you build is a gravitational force. The more you move, the more the world aligns to support you. You are the author of the next chapter. The ink is drying on the page you are currently writing. Do not write a story of regret. Do not write a story of what could have been. Write a story of conquest. Write a story of a person who faced the void of the unknown and decided to fill it with their own light. You have the power, you have the capacity, and you have the time. The only thing you lack is the permission you think you need, and I am telling you now, you don't need it. Break the chains of your previous conditioning. Stop asking for validation. Stop seeking the approval of the crowd. The crowd is the one that stays in the stands. You are the one on the field. You are the one taking the hits, you are the one shedding the sweat, and you are the one who will eventually hold the trophy. The struggle is not an obstacle to your success. The struggle is the crucible of your character. Every challenge you face is burning away the impurities of your ego, leaving behind the hardened core of your purpose. You are being refined. You are being prepared for the weight of the life you have asked for. Do not shrink from it. Lean into the fire. You are more capable than you know, more resilient than you have ever been tested, and more powerful than the circumstances that currently surround you. This is your life. This is your time. This is your declaration. Write the script. Make it a masterpiece. And then, live it with such ferocity that the world has no choice but to acknowledge who you are. The future is waiting for you to claim it. Don't keep it waiting any longer. Go out and become the person you were always meant to be. The transition starts now. Not tomorrow, not on Monday, not when the conditions are perfect. The conditions will never be perfect. Start where you are, with what you have, and declare your intent to the world. And watch. Watch how the world gets out of your way. The threshold of your potential is guarded by the gatekeeper of comfort, a seductive illusion that promises safety while systematically dismantling your ambition. You must understand that comfort is the graveyard of greatness. Every significant advancement in human history, every breakthrough in technology, every revolution in philosophy, every feat of architectural marvel was birthed in the soil of acute discomfort. When you remain in your comfort zone, you are not living. You are merely existing in a state of self-imposed house arrest. The script you are writing for your future cannot contain scenes of safety. It must be a saga of adventure, calculated risk, and the unrelenting pursuit of expansion. Consider the reality of your current environment. Are the people around you fueling your fire, or are they constantly trying to dampen it with the damp, heavy blankets of their own limitations? You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, but you are also the average of the 5 books you read, the 5 topics you dwell on, and the 5 fears you refuse to confront. If your circle is small, your vision will be restricted. If your environment is toxic, your mindset will be poisoned. You have the sovereign right to curate your reality. If a relationship, a habit, or a mindset does not serve the person you are becoming, it is a liability that you must shed with the cold efficiency of a business transaction. Many will call this ruthless. They will tell you that you are changing, that you are becoming distant, that you are not the same person you used to be. They are right. You are not the same. You are evolving. An evolution, by definition, requires the shedding of old skin. Do not apologize for your growth. Those who love you for who you were will struggle to love you for who you are becoming, because your growth is a mirror held up to their own stagnation. Do not let their discomfort dictate your pace. You must cultivate a mental garden that is fortified against the weeds of negativity. Every thought that enters your mind is a seed. If you allow the seeds of doubt, scarcity, and fear to take root, you will be surprised when your life produces a harvest of bitterness and lack. But if you take control of your garden, if you consciously choose to plant the seeds of abundance, confidence, and unwavering purpose, you will reap a harvest that defies the expectations of everyone around you. This is the law of the harvest. It is impartial. It does not care about your past, your background, or your excuses. It only responds to what you plant. Think of the grit required to build something that lasts. When the Wright brothers were laboring in their bicycle shop, they weren't just working with wood and wire, they were working with the raw material of belief. They were ridiculed by the press, ignored by the establishment, and labeled as eccentric dreamers. They were told that man was not meant to fly. But their intent was so firmly established, so deeply etched into their consciousness, that the gravity of public opinion could not hold them down. They understood that the physical world is subordinate to the mental world. They flew because they had already conquered the sky in their minds. You are currently in your own bicycle shop. You may feel like you are working in obscurity, that your efforts are going unnoticed, that the path ahead is shrouded in fog. This is the most critical phase of your journey. This is where your character is solidified. The world does not reward the beginning. It rewards the endurance. Anyone can start a project with the excitement of a new vision. Very few can carry that vision through the long, dark nights of the middle, when the initial inspiration has faded and the results are not yet visible. Discipline is the bridge between your declaration and your reality. It is the ability to keep a promise to yourself long after the mood in which you made it has left you. When you say you will do something, and you do it, you build self-trust. And self-trust is the bedrock of all success. If you cannot trust yourself, you will never be able to command the respect of others. If you cannot keep your own word, you will never command the resources of the universe. Start with small, non-negotiable promises. Wake up at the time you set. Do the work you committed to. Honor your health. Build the integrity of your own word. And watch how quickly your world begins to shift in alignment with your intent. You must learn to be your own greatest advocate. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the master of your interpretation of them. If you view a setback as a disaster, it will be a disaster. If you view that same setback as a lesson, a pivot point, or a necessary calibration, it becomes an asset. The difference is not in the event itself, it is in your declaration of what that event means. Napoleon Hill taught us that every adversity carries within it the seed of an equivalent benefit. You must become a master at finding that seed. When the door slams shut, do not stand there staring at the wood. Start looking for the window that just opened. You are entering a phase of life where you no longer react, you act. You no longer walk through the day, you march through it. You have reclaimed your time, your energy, and your focus. You have recognized that your life is a finite, non-renewable resource, and you refuse to waste another second on the trivial, the petty, or the irrelevant. You are narrowing your focus to a laser point. You are cutting away the noise to hear the signal of your own destiny. There is a rhythm to success. It is a steady, relentless heartbeat of purpose. It doesn't scream for attention. It creates results that are impossible to ignore. You don't need to announce your plans to the world. Let your actions do the talking. Let your results be the loudest sound in the room. When you declare your intent, you're making a pact with the divine, with the universe, with your own higher self. That is a sacred covenant. Treat it with the reverence it deserves. As you move forward, keep this truth etched into your consciousness. You are not arriving at a destination, you are becoming a new version of yourself. The goal you seek is merely a marker on the path of your transformation. The real prize is the person you have to become to achieve it. You are stripping away the layers of fear, the crust of conditioning, and the weight of mediocrity to reveal the person you were always designed to be. You are being forged in the fire of your own intent, and when you emerge, you will be unstoppable. The script is yours, the ink is ready. The stage is set. Every moment from here on out is a scene in the story of your victory. Do not leave a single line unwritten. Do not leave a single moment to chance. Command your future, hold your ground, and never ever compromise the vision you have declared. Your time is now, and the world is waiting for your next move. Rise up, step into the light of your own creation, and begin the work that will define your legacy for generations to come. The transformation has already begun, and you are the one holding the pen. The moment you realize that you are the sole author of your narrative, the weight of the world shifts. It moves from your back and places itself into your hands. You are no longer carrying the burden of expectations. You are wielding the power of manifestation. This is the pivot point of your evolution. Up until now, you have been a passenger in a vehicle driven by habit, environment, and the loud, intrusive opinions of a culture that thrives on your confusion. But a passenger never reaches the destination they desire. They only ever arrive where the driver decides to go. Today, you take the wheel. You claim the seat of command. And you acknowledge, with cold, unwavering sobriety, that every outcome you face from this point forward is the result of your own declaration. Do not fear the intensity of this truth. Embrace it. It is the most liberating realization a human being can possess. If your life is a product of your intent, then you are not trapped. You are merely in a position to rewrite the next scene. And just as a master novelist builds tension, creates conflict, and resolves it through the development of a protagonist's character, you must treat your own life with that same level of strategic depth. You are not just going through the motions, you are building a legacy. You are constructing a monument to what is possible when a human being refuses to accept the constraints of the status quo. Look at the giants again. Think of those who didn't just walk the earth, but changed the very shape of it. They weren't born with the map of success in their pockets. They were born into the same fog of uncertainty as everyone else, but they possessed one singular, terrifyingly powerful trait. They refused to live in the how. The how is where dreams go to die. The how is the domain of the skeptic, the analyst, the person who needs a guarantee before they take a step. But the path to a grand future is rarely visible from the start. You see only the next 3 feet in front of you. That is enough. If you have the intent, the path will reveal itself as you move. Action creates clarity. You do not get clarity to take action, you take action to gain clarity. You have spent too much time analyzing the machinery of your life while the fire of your purpose is burning out. You have been looking for the perfect time, the perfect strategy, the perfect set of circumstances. But the universe does not reward the perfect, it rewards the persistent. It rewards the person who, despite the lack of evidence, despite the lack of support, and despite the whispers of doubt in the back of their own mind, continues to show up. This is the grit of the Titans. This is the discipline that turns a fragile dream into a diamond-hard reality. When you declare your intent, you are essentially drawing a border around your life. You are saying, inside this space, I am the law. This means you must become a guardian of your focus. You must learn to say no to the hundreds of things that do not contribute to your vision, so that you can say a thunderous yes to the one thing that does. The world will try to distract you. It will dangle shiny objects of comfort and easy gratification in front of you. It will offer you the applause of the crowd in exchange for your integrity. It will attempt to lure you back into the warm, suffocating embrace of average behavior. But you must remain disciplined. You must guard your time like it is the only currency you have, because it is. Consider your daily rituals. Are they aligned with the future you have declared, or are they keeping you tethered to the past you are trying to escape? A future-focused life requires a different set of habits. It requires the mastery of your mornings, the intentionality of your work, and the ruthlessness of your review. At the end of every day, you should be able to audit your actions. Did I move the needle? Did I act in alignment with my declaration? Or did I surrender to the gravity of my old self? This isn't about shame. It is about calibration. You are not seeking perfection. You are seeking direction. You are being forged. Think of the blade that is hammered in the heat of the forge. It is put through fire, it is struck, it is cooled, and it is put back into the flames. It is a violent process, but the result is a tool that can cut through anything. Your life is going through that same process. The challenges you are currently facing, the financial friction, the emotional strain, the moments where you feel like you are standing alone, these are not signs that you are on the wrong path. These are signs that the forging is happening. You are becoming a person of substance. You are becoming a person who cannot be broken, only tempered. There is a power in your words that you have been underutilizing. Your tongue is a rudder. The things you speak over your life carry the weight of your belief. Stop describing your problems as if they are permanent states of being. Stop saying, "I am stressed," or "I am struggling." Start declaring what you are becoming. I am building, I am learning, I am expanding. Your words are the blueprints you are handing to the universe. If you keep drawing sketches of a shack, do not be surprised when you do not live in a palace. Draw the blueprints of your empire and speak them into existence with the authority of someone who knows that their success is inevitable. You are the protagonist of this story. There are no secondary characters that can save you. There is no Deus ex machina coming to fix your problems. You are the one who enters the room, and you are the one who changes the energy of that room. You are the one who decides how to respond to every crisis. You are the one who determines the value of every failure. This is the ultimate power of the human spirit, the freedom to choose your response to any stimulus. Even in the face of absolute loss, you can choose the perspective that turns that loss into a foundation for a future victory. Never forget why you started. When the weight of the work becomes heavy, when the silence of the process becomes deafening, return to the core of your declaration. Remember the vision that set your soul on fire. Remember the version of yourself you are striving to meet. That version of you is already out there, waiting in the future. You are walking toward them, step by step, action by action, day by day. Every choice you make that aligns with your goal brings you closer. Every sacrifice you make for your vision is an investment in your ultimate destiny. Stand tall. You have survived every day of your life so far, and you have survived every mistake you ever made. You are still here. You are still breathing. You are still dreaming. And because you are still standing, you have the opportunity to make the next chapter your greatest one yet. Do not hold back. Do not hesitate. Do not look for an exit. You are the architect, you are the builder, and you are the legacy. Declare your intent with every fiber of your being, and watch the world rearrange itself to accommodate the force of your will. The script is in your hands. Write it with fire. Write it with truth. And write it with the absolute, unshakable conviction that you were born to conquer. You must understand that the most dangerous place to reside is in the memory of who you used to be. The person you were last year, last month, or even yesterday is a construct of past limitations. They lived in the safety of what they knew, and they were governed by the boundaries set by others. But that person is no longer the authority over your life. You have issued a decree. You have stepped into the role of the creator, and a creator does not dwell on the history of the materials. A creator focuses entirely on the architecture of the masterpiece. When you look at the master builders of history, you see a common thread. They possessed an almost pathological ability to ignore the impossible. They did not look at the limitations of the current era as facts, they looked at them as invitations. When the world told them the sky was a ceiling, they saw it as a floor. When they were told the earth was fixed, they looked for ways to move it. This is not defiance for the sake of rebellion. This is the clarity of a mind that understands that the laws of physics are far less potent than the laws of belief. Your belief system is the operating system of your life. If you are running on an outdated, corrupted version of yourself, one filled with self-doubt, fear of judgment, and the belief that you are somehow lesser than, then your results will always reflect that deficiency. You cannot manifest a high-impact life with a low-impact mindset. You must purge the code. You must install a new narrative that is rooted in the certainty of your value and the inevitability of your rise. This is not something you do once. It is a daily restoration. You must wake up and redeclare your intent before the world has a chance to tell you who it thinks you are. The world is noisy. It is filled with people who have surrendered their own dreams and are now desperate to convince you to surrender yours. They will label your ambition as arrogance, your discipline as obsession, and your focus as coldness. Let them. Their labels have no power over you unless you accept them. When you declare your intent, you are entering a private contract with your own destiny. You do not owe anyone an explanation for your evolution. You do not need the validation of the crowd to justify the intensity of your work. The person who is truly on their way to the top does not need to announce their arrival. They simply arrive. Think of the compounding nature of your focus. It is like a lens under the summer sun. By itself, the sun provides warmth. But when you place a lens between the sun and a single point, the light becomes a fire. Your life is the same. You have the energy, you have the potential, and you have the raw materials. But you are currently spread across too many distractions. You are trying to be everything to everyone, and in doing so, you are becoming nothing to yourself. You must narrow your field of vision until the only thing that exists is your objective. Cut the social obligations that drain you. Cut the content that numbs your brain. Cut the small talk that steals your vitality. You are a vessel for a specific purpose. There is a work that only you can do in the exact way that you can do it. When you ignore that calling, you are not just failing yourself, you are failing the future that depends on your contribution. The urgency of your work should be felt in every hour of your day. This is why you must prioritize your discipline above your desire. Desire is the engine, but discipline is the steering wheel. Without it, you are just a high-speed car headed for a crash. With it, you are a guided missile, piercing through the atmosphere of mediocrity and heading straight for the target. Do not be intimidated by the scale of your vision. A mountain is not climbed in a single leap, it is climbed one painful, deliberate step at a time. The problem with most people is that they look at the summit and then look at their feet, and the distance between the two paralyzes them. They stop climbing because they don't see how they will make the journey. But you don't need to see the summit from the base. You only need to see the next step. If you take that one step with full conviction, the next step reveals itself. This is the secret of the masters. They trust the process of the climb more than they fear the height of the mountain. Your resilience is not a static quality. It is a muscle that must be worked until it burns. Every time you want to quit but don't, you are building the capacity for greatness. Every time you are exhausted but push through, you are expanding the boundaries of what you are capable of enduring. Resilience is the ability to maintain your vision when the reality around you is falling apart. It is the ability to keep your head up when everyone else is looking down. It is the quiet, unbreakable knowledge that you will eventually reach your destination, no matter how many times the path is blocked. You are the narrator, the director, and the lead actor. You are the one who decides whether the next scene is one of tragedy or triumph. You are the one who decides if you are the victim of the storm or the master of the ship. The script is blank, and the pen is in your hand. You have already wasted enough time in the prologue. The story of your life, the real story, the one that will be told long after you are gone, begins with the choices you make in this very moment. So what will you write? Will you write a story of what if and if only? Or will you write a story of I did and I conquered? The power is not in the future, the power is in the declaration you make right now. Say it. Decide it. Live it. The world does not need more people who are waiting for their turn. The world needs people who have decided that their turn is now. Step into the arena, lock the gate behind you, and begin the work. Your future is not a gift, it is a conquest. Go out and claim it.